right, so some big news today because Barack Obama is heading off to his Mid-East trip. In fact, I think he's en route right now to Afghanistan.
I think he's there.
He's in Afghanistan already?
I think so.
All right, and eventually he's going to be going on to Iraq as well, and a lot of people hanging out, waiting to see if he's going to change his mind on what he sees when he gets to Iraq.
That's exactly right. Although he's already said, kind of given us an idea what his position is. Now, yesterday, of course, we were talking about how the big three network newscasters, the anchors, were going to be in attendance as well. Yesterday, a McCain spokeswoman said, let's drop the pretense that this is a fact-finding trip and call it what it is. The first of its kind campaign rally overseas.
Yeah, he's got all American press with him. He's going to go 12,000 miles to Iraq, Afghanistan, Jordan, Israel, the West Bank, Germany, France, and Britain. So, and of course, he's not going to announce exactly when he's going to be in Iraq for security reasons. But one thing really stood out, front page of the New York Times today, inside the policy-making, international relations, foreign policy-making of Barack Obama. He's got 300 people there, very esteemed people, huge resumes, people from Sam Nunn to Jack Reed to Colin Powell is even a resource, Madeleine Albright, Warren Christopher, and a guy named Dennis Ross.
That's right. Dennis Ross, who, of course, is a Fox News contributor and a former Middle East negotiator, joins us on the line right now. Good morning to you, Dennis.
Nice to be with you. Hi.
It's great to have you. Your story is on the front page of the New York Times today. So explain how this works. We understand every morning an email goes out from to the campaign that gives Barack Obama an overview of what has happened in the world internationally and also how to answer questions that might come up. Is that right?
Well, that's certainly what's described in the New York Times, and I think that's probably very accurate. The reason I put it that way is you have a small group of core people who are the ones responsible, I think, for managing that process. They then call on, obviously, a larger circle of people who are not involved with managing that process, but are tapped to respond or to come up with ideas and to be making suggestions. So I'm in that larger category of people that is turned to people who are, who are obviously doing lots of other things, but are called on for their thoughts, their expertise, and advice.
Sure. Mr. Ambassador, I think that a lot of people know that presidential candidates, and for that matter, presidents, have a heck of a lot of advisors. In fact, some people have even gone as far as to say that the advisors are the people who are actually doing all the work. I think some people, though, will be alarmed to see that there are 300 foreign policy advisors that are helping Barack Obama. I do want to point out that we did some research, and Bob Dole had 200. So is 300 more than any other presidential candidate has had with regard to foreign policy?
Well, I don't know. I think what you're really looking at, I think it's probably in some respects more the norm than the exception. And the reason I say that is, understand that what's happened is you basically have an operation where lots of different groups are established with teams of experts. And I suspect in some cases people have been approached. In other cases, people have probably volunteered their services, again, on the basis of being prepared to offer advice. And I think what you see is a campaign that wants to cast the net very broadly, that believes in diversity of view, wants to ensure that everything has been considered. So I think that probably that's the reason the numbers is large.
Right.
And as you say, with Bob Dole,
Dennis,
I'm not sure it's that. I don't think it's that much of an exception.
I just was surprised, Dennis, to see him set his policies before he actually made his trip.
Well, obviously, he's been a candidate for some time. So when you're a candidate, you're going to develop your thinking. You're going to be offering, what it is you think ought to be done. I think the trip ought to be seen as part of a process for him as well. It gives him a great opportunity to go in and meet leaders, ask leaders questions, listen to what they have to say, get a better understanding of, in a sense, the context in which those leaders themselves are operating.
Right. All right.
Well,
Thank you so much,
you only have
Ambassador.
15 minutes to get that email out. Dennis Ross, former ambassador, we thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And Barack Obama should also thank John McCain for encouraging him to go on that trip. Because by a lot of accounts, that's why he's taking the trip, because as you recall, John McCain challenged him to go with him over to this part of the world. And he said no to that request, but then that probably gave him the idea that he should probably get over there himself.
And speaking of challenges, Gretchen, wasn't it a week or 2 weeks ago where Barack Obama challenged all of us to learn foreign languages, and we need to learn Spanish and stuff like that, and yet Barack Obama, and he talked about, people go over to Europe and all they can say is au revoir or bonjour. he will actually travel to Paris, and he will travel to Germany and those Mideast countries, and he
Does not know the language.
cannot speak any of those
He didn't take
languages.
3 years of German like I did in high school, and I've retained it all.